Yo, what's going on, y'all? This is Marcus Rosa, a.k.a. Mazuma TV, back at y'all with some more boxing talk, man. I hope everybody's having a blessed, beautiful, positive, productive night. I hope you had a great day overall, man. I'm back at y'all with some more boxing talk. We're going to be speaking about Devin Haney versus Shakur Stevenson and exactly who is wasting time or whether this fight is happening next or not. We're going to be speaking about Jaron, Ennis, and Vergil Ortiz drama starting up once again. Then, of course, we're going to get into some open boxing topics. But before we get into all of that, if I could please hit the like button on the way in. That'll be very much appreciated. We're on the road to 4K. We well into the 3,600 mark, looking to crack that 3,700 mark in due time. Shout out to the nation and the mob for making this possible. Shout out to everybody that's been donating to the channel, whether it was through Cash App, Super Chats. You know what I mean? Your contributions to the chat is very much appreciated. Your contributions to the channel is very much appreciated. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing like that genuine motherfucking love. You feel what I'm saying? I definitely feel it. I see it on a regular basis. So thank you very much. Shout out to everybody that's showing love in the comments thus far. We already got 10 people in the building. I'm assuming them notifications done got sent out, which is rare because, you know, the notifications be doing me dirty most of the time. But, you know, it is what it is, man. Y'all go ahead and hit the like button on the way in. Let's get the algorithm on the up so that people know that Mazuma TV is live. Shout out to my boy Denitric Banner with the first comment of the day. He said, I seen Foster say how it's wild that Corey keeps throwing people in front of him. First Foster, now Keyshawn. Hey, man. That's just the type of time these dudes be on. They get to a certain level and they feel like certain fights are below them, or, they want to put on this persona like they are willing to fight everybody, but they throw little stipulations or obstacles in the mix. That's just how the way Shakur been giving it up lately, man. And I already done spoke about this 1,000,001 times. It's shameful, to be honest with you, but it is what it is. Sean Terrence, what up? Lorenzo and the motherfucking Benzo, showing love from all the way out of Tokyo. What up? Chris Maldonado, that's my high school brother right there. What up? King of Brooklyn. Chicken Man, what up? That's a funny name. Bethaniel. Jay, what up? Des 215, always in the building, showing love. Salute, brother. Zah, what up? Marissa Alvarez in the building. That's the little sis, man. Everybody love Marissa, man. She get love everywhere. One thing about Marissa, she don't even know it. In Philly, she good. She will never not need anything. If she was to ever come to Philadelphia, she'll be well taken care of. Philly love Marissa. She don't even know it. Zah said he started with saying that Haney's stuck in the pickle, which is a crazy pause, but I get where you coming from, brother. He says, he gotta lose. You said loose. He gotta lose his ranking at 147 just to fight Shakur for money at 144. That shit don't even make sense, to be honest. Why doesn't it make sense? Why doesn't it make sense? It makes all the sense in the world. So think about it this way, right? Shakur Stevenson is the biggest fight that can be possibly made for you at this point in time, right? On the other end, you have Keyshawn Davis that, is lined up to fight for your WBO welterweight title. You could take this fight with Shakur Stevenson at 144 and possibly beat Shakur Stevenson and become a fucking even bigger star than what you are today, climb up the pound-for-pound list, and then yesterday's price definitely ain't going to be today's price. And it'll get to the point where you probably won't even care to have a belt. Or you could defend this title against Keyshawn Davis, beat him, and then, some people are going to give you credit, other people not so much, but your stock don't really go up too much. It's much more reward in fighting Shakur Stevenson is what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot more reward. They both risky. Let's not get it misconstrued. They both risky. Keyshawn can rumble, Shakur can rumble. They're some of the best fighters in boxing. But there's a lot more upside, and there's a lot more, especially financially. I already know that Shakur bag way better than the Keyshawn bag. We already know this, especially with Shakur just signing with Zuffa and all of that. And from what I've been hearing, Devin Haney's about to sign with Zuffa. I already know the money got to be absolutely insane. So the money, the reward that could come behind, beating Shakur Stevenson. You know what I mean? Think about it this way: if you lose, let's say Keyshawn, if Devin Haney was to lose to either Keyshawn or Shakur, who would you rather lose to? Would you rather lose to the motherfucker who made you come down and weight and you make a lot more money with him? Or would you rather lose to somebody that's at your weight, lose your world title, and somebody who's significantly less experienced than you in the sport of boxing overall, but especially 147 pounds? I think it'll be a lot more embarrassing to lose to Keyshawn Davis. And I'm not saying that Devin Haney looks I don't think he's looking for an excuse just in case he loses. I don't think he's even thinking about losing either one of them guys. I think Devin Haney's confident enough to believe that he could beat both of them. That's just a champion. That's a champion mentality right there. But when you really look over things, there's a lot more upside in beating and fighting Shakur Stevenson. I think that's why they're targeting Shakur over Keyshawn. He said, need to take the ginger tea. Why you say that? Why you say I got to take ginger tea? Zah said, wait, my boy Josh in the building. What's going on, brother? He said if he beats Shakur, he's going to be high up on the pound for pound rankings. That's a fact. That's a fact. Did Devin Haney go ahead and he beat Shakur Stevenson, especially when he had to sacrifice and fighting him at a catch weight, where it's kind of a disadvantage for him? He's definitely going to level up on that pound for pound list. He's definitely going to crack top 4. I sound a little congested. I definitely don't feel congested. I don't know. I don't feel congested at all. Let me see. The boy Zai said, unpopular take though, Mark Keyshawn versus Haney, a more entertaining fight. I mean, stylistically, yeah. Keyshawn liked the rumble. He liked to, he liked to walk people down. He liked to, he punch with bad intentions. He's looking to actually hurt you. He's looking to knock you out. I get it. And Devin Haney's gonna have to deal with that. Shakur and Dev, they might just be in the middle of a chess match with each other. They'll probably be in the center of the ring, trying to hold their ground and take control of the fight, whatever way they can. I think that'll be more of a chess match. Keyshawn he'll probably mix in a little bit of a chess match here and there, but he definitely gonna go get it eventually. So I can see why you say that, but at the end of the day, to me, it's no debate on which is the bigger fight for Devin Haney. You know what I'm saying? But, speaking about the whole situation, man, it seems like there's a little delay going on because it's a lot of mixed signals. I ain't going to lie to you. Like, Devin Haney, he's not really saying too much. He's pretty much saying, like, stop looking for hints. Just wait for the announcement. Boxing fans are getting extremely impatient because we haven't seen Devin Haney fight since, like, what, November of 2025? So December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. Like, it's been 8 months since Devin Haney fought. You know what I'm saying? So there's a whole lot of, waiting around and just hoping that an announcement comes out soon. So fans are getting impatient. Devin Haney just wants people to wait a little bit longer. And a lot of, people just can't help but speak about this fight right here. And it's for an obvious reason. It's one of the biggest fights to be made in the sport of boxing. And, Shakur Stevenson has been a little bit controversial when it comes to this topic because he's looking for all different types of, advantages, I guess you would say. Looking for, a catch weight. He keeps emphasizing how big Devin Haney is, but then at the same time saying that it's not really an issue. My whole thing is if you're constantly bringing something up, regardless of whether you want to admit it or not, it's a concern of yours. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like that one insecure nigga that's in a relationship with a girl. He's mad that this girl keeps coming around this dude named John. Man, what's up with you? Why John always at the club that you at? Why John always sitting next to you? I ain't really worried about John, but I just want to know, like, why John always around you? Man, I trust you, but like, why John always Why John always at the clubs you at? Like, why that is? You talked to John before? Like, I don't really care, but I just want to know. Like, when niggas say shit like that, oh, I don't really care, but no, you do care. So Devin Haney there was this video going around of Devin Haney hitting a heavy bag at a top rank gym. And Devin Haney, let's just keep it real. Like, Devin Haney definitely walks around heavier than his fight weight, which is pretty normal nowadays because a lot of these dudes have to cut weight in order to make weight. That's just the times that we in. These dudes blow up, 15, 20 pounds. And, Devin Haney's definitely getting acclimated to the 147-pound division. You know what I'm saying? So this is not, Shakur Stevenson got such a problem with Devin Haney being heavier than what he is. And he can't make it seem like weight isn't a concern for him because I remember this nigga did a whole weight challenge. Post your weight challenge. Post your weight challenge. I remember there was a point in time where they used to ask Shakur, what's your walk around weight? And he refused to tell people. Ever since this whole Devin Haney shit come up, now this nigga want to be transparent about how much he weigh. Like, the whole 180 here, the whole switch up with this situation is just goes to show, it just goes to show, to me at least, how much of a concern Devin Haney's rehydration process is. Regardless of how much he says it isn't a problem, the fact that you keep bringing it up and it continues to be a relevant topic in your mind, it lets me know that since it's on your mind, it's relevant. It bothers you. It concerns you. You know what I'm saying? And my whole thing is, if it's that much of a concern, why not just say, fuck the fight? Because when you're going around saying, oh, let's do 144, it just makes sense, 144. Until this day, I think that 144 proposal he put up was strategically put in place for Devin Haney to say no. I think he offered that 144 catch weight because he was hoping Devin Haney would say no, or he was confident that Devin Haney would say fuck no and move on with his career. And Shakur was like, oh, well, I tried to make the fight happen. But Devin didn't want it. Devin Haney did the ultimate switcheroo on motherfucking Shakur Stevenson when he said, all right, let's do it at 144 then. Because now cards are being pulled. Now your hands is what you left with. And I don't think Shakur, I think Shakur tried to play the game. I think he tried to play this little game with Devin Haney, and that shit flipped on him. So now, he's trying to find whatever angle possible to make it seem like he wants to fight Devin Haney, but there's certain things that Devin Haney has to do. This nigga Shakur is going around telling people, vacate your belt. Vacate your belt then. If you want to fight me, vacate your belt. Bro, Shakur, why the fuck you so worried about what this nigga's about to do with his belt? Your main concern should be whether this nigga is going to sign the contract to fight you or not. That should be your only concern. Stop worrying about – this nigga's so worried about Keyshawn and his career. Listen, I understand that's your brother. I understand, you know what I mean? You want to see your brother do good and all of that. But respectfully, you're not his manager, so mind your fucking business. Y'all got the same manager. Let Jay Prince worry about that shit. You worried about the wrong shit. You want to fight me? Just vacate your belt. Man, you got to vacate your belt. Shut the fuck up. He don't have to vacate shit. If he go ahead and sign to fight you, the WBO is going to have to make a choice. They're either going to let this nigga rock or they're going to strip him of his title and Keyshawn can go fight whoever else is on the rankings for the vacant WBO title. That shit has nothing to do with you. Then on top of that, you talking all this 144 shit, 144, Dev, like, all right, so you'll remember me if it's 144? Yeah. All right, bet. Oh, but with my brother's blessing, though, Keyshawn gives me his blessing, I don't want to step on Keyshawn's toes, as if he hasn't done it already. Now, all of a sudden, he's worried about, fucking up Keyshawn's situation. As if Keyshawn wasn't chasing Teofimo Lopez around, setting himself up to be the number one contender for his WBO strap. You moved up in weight. You went into a weight class you had no fucking business being in. And how do I know he got no business being at 140? Because to this day, this motherfucker Shakur Stevenson talk about he's a 135 pounder. That's how I know he ain't got no business being at 140. But for an opportunity, he stepped on his brother's toes to go get that Teofimo Lopez fight. January 31st, I believe, of this year. So Who's wasting time? I don't know what's going on behind the scenes at the end of the day, right? But I seen this little interaction that Bill and Devin had. Hold on. Let me read a couple of these questions before we get into it. Shout out to Bella Faith in the building. Shout out to my homie Ralph. My boy Josh said, Shakur playing games, you can't say you want all the smoke and you him, but you push up for 144. Yeah, it's like I said, these niggas is like conditional warriors. I said this shit like a couple weeks ago. These niggas is conditional warriors, which is crazy to me. That's like what's that shit called? Like an oxymoron, because you would think that if you a fucking warrior, you know what I mean, you just with the shits. You ain't worried about certain things. You just, all you know is go. You feel what I'm saying? You ain't got no fucking picks. You ready to rock. But these niggas nowadays, they conditional warriors. That's who Shakur Stevenson is. He popping, oh, I'm him under them bright lights. Shakur, let's keep it real. Like, you had one fight with Teofimo Lopez where the lights was really bright. Outside of all of that shit, you ain't really been in a fight where niggas was like, yo, man, I don't know, Shakur might lose. Like, you ain't been in them type situations, brother. So let's cut it out. Like, you fought Teo, but we seen Teofimo Lopez get outboxed several times before he fought you. We knew what was going to happen. The niggas who really tapped into boxing knew what was going to happen. So you don't, for real, I mean, you dominated, you did what you had to do, and I'm proud of you for that. But you don't really know if you're him just yet under them bright lights, because them lights ain't been that bright for you yet. Them lights ain't been that bright. And I'm not trying to diminish his accomplishments, his accolades. He's doing phenomenal. 4-division world champion ain't no fucking joke. Undefeated, one of the, I think the best defensive fighter in the sport of boxing today. Great, underrated inside game, good jab, good counters. I think he got some respectable power. He got good punch placement, especially to the body. Definitely got dog. He comes in phenomenal shape like he did with William Cepeda. That was one of my favorite performances. I was in awe of the William Cepeda performance. Just the versatility he showed defensively. Good legs. That's a form of defense. Philly, rolling shots with the Philly shell. That's another form of defense. Keeping the range. That's another form of defense. Like, he shows so many tools in his arsenal, just in the defensive department. I was in all of that performance. I just love what I saw, the combination punching, the accuracy. Shakur Stevenson is the truth. You feel me? It's just the way that he's carrying this shit right here lets me know that the shit that he be talking his actions don't be adding up with that shit he be talking. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Definitely pull this card, Ralph. You know what I mean? Bella said he'll make a fight with Ben at 147 who fought at 160, but not Dev. Yeah, and that's the problem. That's the problem. And I remember Shakur was like, oh, like, I don't care. Like, it is what it is. So this nigga, like, he got exposed for, contradicting himself with them past statements. And he just like, I don't care. Like, fuck it. Like, yeah, I'm a hypocrite. So what? And it's like, that's definitely the way you don't want to go, bro. You don't want to have that reputation. You don't want to be known for that in the sport of boxing. In the sport of boxing, you want to be known for somebody who took chances. You want to be known as somebody who got it the hard way. You know what I mean? Got it out the mud. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that Shakur hasn't done those things, but, these fights right here, it's like nowadays, motherfuckers want as many advantages as possible before they step into the ring. And you say skills pay the bills. That should be all you need in order to rise to the top, right? Throughout boxing's history, the most skilled fighters always found a way to make it to the top of the game. Floyd Mayweather, Terrence Crawford, Andre Ward, fucking Sugar Ray Robinson, Lennox Lewis, whatever the case is, the most skilled fighters always found a way to stay or make their way to the top of the division. The cream always rise to the top. That's what they say, right? So you would believe, since Shakur popping all this skills pay the bills shit, that, regardless of Devin Haney being the bigger man, him rehydrating more, whatever the case is, that wouldn't necessarily be a concern for him. But the reality is, it is a fucking concern for him. And it really makes me think whether this is something that is a weakness of Shakur Stevenson or not? Are bigger guys Shakur Stevenson's kryptonite? I don't know. It seems like that's a true insecurity of his that he really don't want to, stand up to right now. That's just something that I noticed. Bella Faith said the vacating the belt narrative is played by the brothers who ain't brothers. Yeah. Because Shakur don't want to step on his brother's toes, right? So if he get Devin Haney to vacate his belt, they could push a narrative that he ducked Keyshawn Davis, even though he's fighting Shakur, who's the better, more popular fighter, and it's an overall better fight than Keyshawn versus Haney. They're gonna push a narrative that he ducked Keyshawn, blah blah blah, and then I didn't really step on my brother's toes because my brother was still able to fight for the world title. You know what I mean? That'll make Shakur. That's what'll make Shakur sleep easy at night. You know what I'm saying? Because if he was to fight Devin Haney and Devin Haney keeps his title and Keyshawn got to sit around and wait for an opportunity, it's going to be safe to say he stepped on his brother's toes yet again. He doesn't want to do it yet again, according to himself. So maybe if he gets Devin Haney to vacate that title, Keyshawn could fight for the vacant strap against Brian Norman or whoever is on the rankings. And he could fall back and be like, all right, well, I might have took the Devin Haney fight from Keyshawn, but Keyshawn still fought for the belt. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's definitely a play by the brothers who ain't brothers. Absolutely. Great point. My boy Josh said, the proof is in the pudding. Shakur told Foster, if you beat Ford, you got next in the ring. That is a fact. And they make no move on making that fight. It's a pattern with Shakur. Right. And what's also a pattern with Shakur is trying to throw other niggas in the mix with motherfuckers that you should be fighting. This nigga Shakur and Foster been going at it for I don't know how long. Shakur, Foster said he beat up on Shakur, in sparring. Then Shakur claimed that it was cap. Then he came out with an interview with the Mr. Versace nigga, whatever his name is, and then said that he had a long night of partying with his girl, and he wasn't 100% in the sparring session, and you know what I mean, like basically admitting that O'Shaquie got off on him, and then they sparred again, and I guess he tried to say that he made it even after that, but O'Shaquie still claims he got off on Shakur. But whatever the case is, you know what I mean? This motherfucker is trying to rumble you, and you tell him, "Oh, fight my brother Ray. You beat my brother. If you fight my brother Ray and you beat him, then I'll fight you." That's Shakur's words. That ain't mine. So what O'Shaquie do, like the motherfucking gangster that he is, wasn't a conditional warrior. He said, "Oh, for real? I'm going to hold you at your word. I'm going to fight Raymond Ford." Fights Raymond Ford, beats Raymond Ford convincingly, in my opinion. Where's Shakur at? Shakur hops in the ring. This motherfucker, he yelling at the top of his lungs. This nigga jumping in the ring, like so emotional. Then this nigga on Twitter talking about, "Oh, don't run away from this fight. Oh, I'm going to have you fight in Newark. And, we gonna bring him to Newark and all this bullshit." Mate, like so animated, acting like he's gonna fight O'Shaquie. Then all of a sudden just completely drops the whole idea of fighting O'Shaquie after he gave us the impression on the internet that he was going rumbling. Crazy. That's Shakur for you, though. Not said, let's be real. Shakur will box O'Shaquie head off. We don't want to see that fight. That's not the point, though, brother. Regardless, because I think O'Shaquie loses to Shakur, too. You know what I'm saying? But that's not the point. We're not talking about Shakur, losing to O'Shaquie or O'Shaquie beating Shakur. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the pattern in which Shakur Stevenson says he's going to do certain things, then he doesn't. Him putting obstacles out there for guys to fight him, and then when they overcome the obstacles, now all of a sudden it's something else that needs to be done. You put a roadblock, you get past the roadblock. Then he put another roadblock. Then you got to get past that roadblock. Then by that time, it's like, bro, why the fuck I keep going over these roadblocks? This nigga is gonna come up with something else to talk about. And that's why O'Shaquie like, fuck it. Let's see what's going on with Emmanuel Navarrete. Salute to O'Shaquie for that. That's a phenomenal fighter at the 130-pound division. I hope O'Shaquie continues to get big names to fight and, I hope he continuously beats those big names so he could become a fighter that's hard to deny. Because it seemed like all those shots he been getting from Shakur is the runaround. And I don't really fuck with that, especially when you gave that man your word. That's why I respect motherfuckers like Prime Deontay Wilder. That motherfucker told he beat Luis Ortiz, right? Tough ass fight. Luis Ortiz knocks some boy out. I forgot who it was, knocked him out. Boom. Deontay Wilder walks in the ring. He was like, Luis Ortiz was calling him out for a rematch. Oh, I want a rematch with Wilder, blah, blah, blah. Of course, in Spanish, talking that shit, trying to talk English, trying to get the crowd riled up. And Wilder was like, you want a rematch? You want a rematch? Luis Ortiz was like, yeah, motherfucker, yeah. Oh, animated and shit. He just rumbled the adrenaline all crazy. Wilder was like, I give you my word. I'll give you the rematch. He said the reason why he gave Luis Ortiz them opportunities because just like Wilder's daughter, his daughter had health issues. So he wanted to look out for him and, put some money in his pocket so he could take care of his daughter. And guess what? Luis Ortiz was able to take care of his daughter. Shout out to the Bronze Bomber, man. You could appreciate a motherfucker that stand on their word. You know what I mean? So who's wasting time? Let me go ahead and pull these tweets up because there was a little small interaction between Bill Haney and Devin Haney. Y'all see that little AI video right here. So look like Shakur been in his Gervonta Davis bag lately, and that's posting tweets and then deleting tweets. But I remember this tweet right here, and it was Devin Haney hitting the bag, and Shakur was like, man, Dev like 180 right now, but, it don't matter because I'm him. And so Bill Haney responds, he says, yeah, you him, and you've been tripping, wasting my time. So based off of what Bill Haney is saying, I guess, they trying to make some moves behind the scenes. They trying to lock this fight in and make it happen. And I guess Bill Haney is getting impatient with how slow this shit is taking to put together. So he comes out and says, yeah, you him, but you've been tripping, wasting my time. So that was Bill Haney's response. Now, this could very much be promotion and just getting the people excited or just having, just staying in the headlines to continue building up the anticipation for this fight. This could very much be a promotional tactic. For all we know, this fight's probably already signed behind the scenes. We don't know. But that's what Bill Haney said. Shakur Stevenson follows up with a response, and he said, no, sounds like you're wasting time now, Billy. I'm with the people you said you was ready to do the fight. But it doesn't matter because if it's key, then the Haneys are cooked regardless. I think it's double SG, like double shotgun, like double barrel. So basically, like, you know what I mean? Whichever one you get hit with gonna take you out. So whether it's Keyshawn or whether it's Shakur, you asked out. Now, who do I make of all of this? Like I said, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. It could very much be a situation where maybe the Haneys don't like the money they're being offered. Maybe they're looking for more money. Maybe Shakur is trying to throw in extra stipulations in the fight behind the scenes. Maybe his team taking their time reading over this contract or reading over the details. Maybe they trying to figure out a location. I don't know what's going on. But it's definitely being held up at this point, man. Shakur Stevenson, according to what he said in interviews, Zuffa has been promising to make the biggest, best fights for him. And he says that the biggest fights that he will want as of right now is Gervonta Davis and, more recently, Devin Haney. He said he wasn't thinking about Devin Haney till, he started, calling him out and shit like that. So let me see. Did Shakur Stevenson say something else? Let me see. Did Shakur say something else? I think he did. Let me see. He said something else. Okay, he did say something else. Let me share the screen for y'all to see this as well. Bill Haney responds and says Shakur Stevenson If you think those people haven't already figured out that you've been wasting their time for months, you're being ignorant. So he's saying that them Zuffa people are feeling like Shakur Stevenson is wasting their time with making this fight happen. Shakur Stevenson responds and said, Billy the businessman, you can't bluff me. We both know 144. Y'all don't want parts of. Good job tricking your fans, but the real knows. You clout chase my name for people to be more interested in your son. Congrats on the buzz. Scratch my name off y'all fake list. Hashtag him. Now, we're hearing two different stories right now. Like I said, we're not behind the scenes, so we can't tell who's being truthful and who's lying. Devin, Bill Haney said, yo, them Zuffa people over there are feeling like you're wasting their time. You're dragging your feet trying to make this fight happen. And Shakur Stevenson is claiming that 144-pound catch weight that Devin Haney seemed to be optimistic about fighting in. Shakur is saying that they don't really want to make that fight happen at 144. So Bill's saying one thing, Shakur saying another. I don't really know what to make of this, but at this point, bro, I think there needs to be we need to be given some type of transparency as fans. Is this fight going to happen next or not? Like, I know Devin Haney wants to hold back and just let them do their thing with announcing the shit, but goddamn, somebody dragging their feet. And at this point, it's like, bro, it's just been so much talking. There's been so much drama. There's been so much shit that's just been exchanged back and forth that as boxing fans, we getting tired of this shit. We sick of motherfuckers arguing on the internet all day, just for them to just be fighting somebody else. Like Richardson Hitchens talking all that bullshit to Devin Haney, talking all that bullshit to Keyshawn, talking all that bullshit to Javante, but this nigga's about to fight Salas. A nigga that he wasn't even initially supposed to fight. He was supposed to fight Elvis Rodriguez. Then when Salas' team was talking shit, he scrapped the Elvis Rodriguez fight, then went ahead and chose Salas instead because of some shit he said on social media. So you had so many different opponents to pick from. Do you know that Richardson Hitchens was offered the Julian Rodriguez fight? He was offered the Elvis Rodriguez fight. Guys who are, in my opinion, bigger names than the dude Salas. So, more recognizable names. Julian Rodriguez got a whole lot of momentum right now. He's been getting some good wins. He's been putting on for Zuffa. That would have been a good fight. That would have been a great fight, in my opinion, but you chose Salas instead because there's this narrative out here that you had trouble with pressure fighters, and you do. And you pulled out of a fight against a pressure fighter recently, which you did. So you think by fighting Salas is going to remove this narrative that you have trouble with pressure fighters. It's not that simple, brother. But I don't even know why we got to talk. I don't even know why I brought up Hitchens, but y'all see what I'm talking about, man. We sick of the back and forth arguing. We sick of the drama, the gossip, and you know what I'm saying? We need to hear less words and we need to see more hands being thrown. You know what I'm saying? That's the reality of the situation. So it's either this fight going to happen next or it's not. We need to be given some type of transparency. What the fuck is going on behind the scenes that, progression and negotiations don't seem to be, doesn't seem to be happening. Like what's going on, man? That's basically all I want to know. What's going on, bro? Is Shakur fighting Dev next? Is Dev fighting Shakur next? Are y'all going to take a fight in between? Are y'all targeting a fight for 2027? Shakur talking about he's coming back in October of 2026. Is that going to be against Devin Haney or not? We need to know. You see what I mean? So that's just my whole thing. I'm going to go tap in for a bathroom break real quick. I'll be right back, y'all. Don't leave, man. We about to get into this next topic with Jaron Ennis and Vergil Ortiz. We'll be right back. All right. We back. We moving on to the next topic, y'all. Let's go ahead and speak about the situation that's currently ongoing between Jaron Ennis and Vergil Ortiz. Jaron Ennis just came off of the biggest win of his career against Xander Zayas and just became the unified champion, the only unified champion currently in the 154-pound division, currently holding the WBO and the WBA world titles. Now, since then, Vergil Ortiz and his team have been very, very vocal on social media. Not while Jaron Ennis was training for Xander Zayas, not prior to Jaron Ennis inking a fight with Xander Zayas, but after his fight with Xander Zayas. Vergil Ortiz got a lot of situations going on. You know what I mean? I don't know if they still in court. From what I heard, they're attempting to, settle their differences and just follow through with their contract. As initially, as it was already agreed upon, they just trying to get back into motion with the contract. Listen, they out here running their mouth again. So Eddie Hearn had actually put out an interview today, and I wanted you guys to hear it because y'all probably didn't come across this. Shout out the Fight Hub TV, shout out to Marcos Villegas for, putting this, interview together with Eddie Hearn. So I'm gonna go ahead and share the screen for the people to see. And shout out to Everything Boxing on X for posting this. And this is Eddie Hearn's quote right here. And according to the tweet, it says, the deal won't be the same for Boots and Vergil. Now, Eddie Hearn has said this. Let's hear it.
Off the back of Zayas and Boots, how close are we to like an Ortiz fight for Boots?
We haven't really heard anything, to be honest. I just said to Mannix up there, it's like, everyone's on me. They're like, make the fight, Eddie. It's like, what about you make the fight? Do you know what I mean? We like
the Golden Boy, yeah.
Well, but anyone, the zone. I mean, like the reality is, when we agreed that fight last time, we were taking the smaller end of the deal, which I didn't agree with at all. But Boots was like, listen, let me go and fight him. I'll beat him, and then we'll be in a great position.
Boots a motherfucking dog for that. Yo, niggas can learn from that. Yo, Shakur and all of y'all niggas, y'all can learn from that right there, boy. Yo, let that nigga have whatever he want. I'm going to beat him. And once I beat him, we're going to get in a favorable position. That's the way to think. You know what I'm saying? Dog shit right there.
Fight didn't happen, right? We signed for that fight. They didn't. I do believe they wanted the fight, but obviously they had their mess. We went out and had a gift from God to fight Xander Zayas, and thank you, Xander, for being the champion, and thank you, Top Rank, for rolling the dice. And on June 27th, a new star was born in Jaron Boots Ennis. Rick Meridian, who I love, but, is a little bit skewed because of his love for his fighters, comes back and says, well, we've done the deal. It's like, no, we did a deal when we weren't even champion, when we were half the fighter we were in terms of profile and star value. Now we're unified world champion and you're a voluntary defense. Now, I'm not going to come out and say you should get 20% as a voluntary challenger, but do not think the deal was the same.
Is that what the fuck Rick Meridian was thinking? He thought since they did a deal before the Xander fight that same deal still applied to this current situation? Bro, Boots stock just shot up like 2-3 times over. Who fucking knows? Probably more than that. So you think that y'all still in a power position? Y'all still think that y'all the favorite? You still think that you getting the bigger half of that pie? Y'all still think that y'all getting the bigger split? Bro, who the fuck does Vergil and his team think they are, bro? Y'all niggas are like, I'm going to keep it real. Like, y'all niggas is nobodies. Y'all already did that shit with Xander. Oh, this fight need to be in a neutral location or it's just not going to be a fight. The way these niggas be talking, you would think these niggas is pay-per-view draws selling out the motherfucking Cowboy Stadium. You would think that these niggas really bringing in the motherfucking bacon. Whole time, y'all niggas ain't. Y'all not doing that. Y'all niggas ain't even got a world title to y'all name. This nigga Ryan Garcia beat y'all to a world title. Xander Zayas beat you to a world title. Ben Rodriguez beat you to a world title. God damn, all your peers passing you up The only thing you had going for you was a motherfucking being ranked #1 in the Ring magazine. That shit got passed up. You have no fucking power in these negotiations now. You talk about, oh, we already got a deal done. You think that same deal prior to the Xander fight applies now? Nigga, the whole fucking table turned. You'll be lucky if you get what Boots was about to take to fight you. This shit is insane.
We got multiple options for Jaron Ennis. We've got Josh Kelly. We've got Sebastian Fondora. We love the Vergil Ortiz fight. And I stand by all my comments previously. It is one of the very best fights in the sport. Boots will take it like that. But I have to go and present an offer to Jaron Ennis. And I can do that by having a chat and seeing the numbers. But if you're like, it's always, make the fight, Eddie. It's like, make the offer. All right? So, Golden Boy, the Zone, if you want to challenge the champ, make the offer to the champ. If not, we'll sit down and we'll tell you what you're getting for the fight. And then we'll work with Golden Boy, co-promote, no problem. But respect what he's done, respect the situation, and respect that today's price is not yesterday's price.
That's fucking hilarious, yo. Eddie, one thing about Eddie, bro, and I'm actually, like, as time is going on, I'm growing to appreciate Eddie Hearn more and more. I think he started off real bad first impression when he came over to the States, but he's starting to get and he rocks with his fighters and he does a lot, real active, real charisma with Eddie Hearn. There's a lot to actually like about Eddie Hearn. He's a snake. He's a slithering snake. Let's not get it fucked up. But real smooth motherfucker when it comes to the promotional shit. He's right. Yesterday's price is not today's price. That was the perfect way to end this motherfucking question right here, to wrap up that question. And he made another great point, man. It's like, yo, like, y'all talking about get the fight done. Bro, shoot us a fucking offer. The Zone, Golden Boy, whatever the case is, and let me know what y'all coming with. If not, we could sit down and we'll let you know what we feel like you're worth, and we can try to go from there. Now, one thing about Golden Boy and them, they not going for that, bro. They not going for that. These motherfuckers was trying to treat Xander as if he was the motherfucking challenger. The whole time he was a legit world champion, and they was trying to tell him what he can and cannot do, where he can and cannot fight at. I mean, try to make it seem like he was a duck because he wanted to fight in Puerto Rico for his first title defense. Like it wasn't promised to him since he signed with Top Rank at the age of 16. So, you know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers not going, De La Hoya and them, they just going to use that as a way to get up out of negotiations. They going to say that, Jaron Ennis and Eddie Hearn lowballed them, whatever the case is. Zah said 65-35 split, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, that's for them to decide. I really don't care about what the split is, but man, if y'all think that y'all still gonna get a majority of the fucking split after this Xander Zayas win for Boots, you out your rabbit ass mind. You out your rabbit ass mind. So, of course, Rick Meridian had a response. Trick said, Mazuma, Boots' name is attached with Ortiz. Vergil is definitely somebody. Boots brings more to the table and gets a bigger split, but Ortiz is a real name in boxing. Listen, man. Obviously, their names are attached. Their names have been attached since being at 147 pounds. I was there the whole time. So that's definitely not a lie. Is Ortiz a real name in the sport of boxing? Yes. If he wasn't a real name in the sport of boxing, we wouldn't be asking him to fight Jaron Ennis. Both of those points you made are factual and they're abundantly clear. However, the arrogance from Vergil Ortiz and his team to think that they are still going to get the favorable split while sitting on the bench fighting a lawsuit while Jaron Ennis just became a unified champion, sold $16K at the Barclays, sold the Barclays out, and probably tripled his fucking worth off of that performance. You mean to tell me that you're still the A side? And to be honest with you, I don't think Vergil I think that should have been a 50-50 split right down the middle. That's just me. Because even though Vergil was at 154 longer and had the better resume at 54, he still wasn't a world champion. He wasn't selling like Jaron Ennis. And you know what it comes down to at the end of the day is who puts more asses in the seats. That's typically what decides the A side. Who's the more popular attraction? Who actually has a history with selling more tickets? That's what it comes down to. You feel what I'm saying? So, Tricks, you make some great points, brother. But and nobody's saying that Ortiz isn't a real name. If somebody's saying that, they straight up hating. The problem is having this arrogant sense of who you feel like you are in the sport of boxing. The problem is, nigga, you think that you a bigger star than what you are. You think you worth more than what you are. When in reality, the numbers don't back this superstar mentality that you're bringing into negotiations. That's what I find to be a problem. You feel what I'm saying? Bellaface said, nah, Boots earned a spot. Vergil doesn't deserve any favorable split. The motherfucker couldn't sell out Dickies. Thank you. That's all I'm saying. And as a boxing fan, I don't really like to get into the numbers and talk about A-side, B-side shit, because at the end of the day, that's for them to figure out. And as a boxing fan, my only objective is to call for the biggest fights and watch the biggest fights. But that shit is corny. I ain't gonna lie, that shit is corny. You feel what I mean? But great fucking response from Eddie Hearn. Now, of course, like I said, Rick Meridian has something to say about this. My boy Josh, hold on, let me read this. My boy Josh said, nah, Vergil made some noise at 54. He smoked Madrimov, who many people felt like gave Bud a good fight, and he sparked Lubin. I think it was 2 rounds, but you said 1 round. And Lubin was giving Fundora smoke, so he was stopped. No, listen. Lubin, I got a little bit of a different opinion about Lubin, but whatever. You know, Vergil stopped him in either 1 or 2 rounds. I forgot how many rounds that was. And then, he beat up on Madrimov. Yeah, that's a fact. And like I said, he has a good resume at 154 pounds. Absolutely. But that's not what we're talking about. You feel what I'm saying? Can you imagine? You're new to a job, right? Let's say you're new to a job. How can I put this? Let's say let me see. Let's say Walmart is looking to hire you as like a general manager or whatever the case is, right? And you know, you new to the department and shit like that, and you know, they offer you 60 racks a year, right? So it's pretty solid money for the average American citizen. You know, that's all right, but you know what I mean? You feel like you should be given more than that. So you end up taking a different, you end up taking a different route. You end up becoming a general manager of fucking Target. And there you do such a great job that at the end of, like, while you put some work in, you end up making 6 figures a year. Can you imagine? You was offered $60K a year. You was offered $60K a year at Walmart. You making $100K plus at Target, being a general manager of their fucking store, and at Walmart tries to come back around and get you to work for them. But it's like, oh, yeah, man, like we would like for you to work for us, man. You got great experience. I think you can do really good at this job. Is $60K still good? What you gonna tell them? What you gonna tell them? I'm gonna tell them niggas eat a dick and hang that motherfucking phone up, right? I could just imagine that. Bro, I came into 154 pounds. Josh, you saying that there's Vergil slander in the chat. What we're saying is Vergil did not do enough. He did not do enough as a fighter to get the lion's share against Jaron Boots Ennis. That's what we're saying. We're not saying the nigga a bum. We're not saying that the nigga didn't fight anybody. I just made it abundantly clear that he has a great resume at 154 pounds. I think you bigged up Lubin a little too much, because at the end of the day, all Lubin ever did was lose his biggest fights and gave underwhelming performances in the lead up to the Vergil Ortiz fight. Let's just keep it real. That Ardell Holmes fight, underwhelming performance. You feel what I'm saying? Even the ones when he fought like Terrell Goucher, like that shit wasn't impressive to me. You feel what I'm saying? All his biggest fights, he always seemed to crumble. He never came out on top. We seen the Jamel Charlo fight. We seen the Sebastian Fundora fight. That's just me. I think you bigged up the Eric Shalubin one a little bit too much. Madrimov, we going to give him that, but Madrimov was coming off of a loss. But regardless, Vergil Ortiz does not deserve the lion's share. Chad said he a 30-year-old prospect. Does he have a world title? The nigga got a WBC interim champ, a WBC interim belt, and had multiple opportunities to fight for a world title. Said he wasn't going the IBF route because of a rehydration clause. All right, the nigga got health issues. We let the shit slide. Vergil, this nigga Xander Zayas, after Vergil didn't give Xander an opportunity, because, you know, he chose Madrimov over Xander. So which was, you know, wasn't a bad move at all. Madrimov, you know, was higher up on the totem pole at 154 at the time. So I understood that. But Xander turned around and gave this nigga an opportunity, or attempted to. It was like, yo, you want to fight me in Puerto Rico? Let's do it. For my WBO title, I'll fight you. Just come to Puerto Rico. What them niggas over at Golden Boy said. Come on. Come on, Xander. Fuck. We don't want to fucking fight in Puerto Rico for what? Y'all robbed me with Tito. Why would I send Vergil to Puerto Rico? It's not happening. I don't care if I lived there before. That's how Oscar be talking. Come on. Fuck. Let's fight in Vegas. Come on. Come on, Xander. Let's fight in Vegas. Like, nigga, who the fuck is you? Like, I'm trying to figure out, bro, you are a contender. You are a fucking contender trying to tell a champion where to fight. Can you imagine if Floyd tried to tell Oscar that? Can you imagine that shit? Oscar would have told that nigga Floyd suck a dick and kept that shit moving and go make millions fighting whoever. Can you imagine if Errol Spence told Kell Brook, nah, I don't want to fight you in the UK. Come to America. Kell Brook, nigga, you stupid, nigga. I'm Kell Brook, nigga. I'm the IBF welterweight champion of the world. You dumb nigga. The fuck? Like, you know that saying, like, beggars can't be choosy? That's kind of how I feel about, like, y'all niggas is begging for an opportunity to fight for a world title. But once we're looking to give you that opportunity, then you want to start picking and choosing what you want. Nigga, you ain't got no say-so. Nigga, you going to jump or not? That's all I'm saying about Vergil. Vergil done pissed me off. And then he be sitting in interviews talking about, yeah, I'm not really hands-on with the business. You know, I just let my, you know, I don't really care. Like, nigga, how you not hands-on? Nigga, your life is on the line. You could die in that bitch. You let your team handle how much money you get in. Bro, God forbid you ain't getting robbed. Because it could be some shit where it's like, them networks probably telling his peoples, yo, we got like $5 million for Vergil. We got $4 million for Vergil. You know, you got 5. Oh, yeah. You can wire like half of that over to this LLC, whatever the case is. I don't know. I'm sure it's a lot more difficult than that. But they probably like, yo, Vergil, they got $3 million for you to, you know, fight so-and-so. And Virgil's like, oh, that's a lot of money. Bet whole time there's $5 million in the pot. Them niggas just scraped $2 million off your bitch ass. That's what happens typically when you're not hands-on into the business. So he let these niggas dictate wherever the fuck his career goes. And so far, He's the only motherfucker who is very capable of being world champion, has not been able to fucking fight for a world title, let alone win one. They haven't even put this nigga in position to fight for a world title. Auntie Sco's son about to fight for a world title before this fuck nigga Vergil fight for a title. That shit not embarrassing? How you letting these young, underdeveloped ass niggas outdo y'all? Nah, Vergil definitely fought niggas. But the problem is, since he think he fought niggas, that's what he big on. Oh, I fought Majimov. I fought Lubin. You know what I'm saying? I fought Bohachuk. I beat all them niggas. Like I'm at the top of the division, blah, blah. He thinks since he beat them niggas that he feel like he can move however he want. That's not how this shit go. Bro, Sergio Martinez. Yo, for anybody that watched Miguel Cotto versus Sergio Martinez, if y'all ever watched that fight, let me know. If y'all was watching boxing around that time, let me know. I know my boy Josh was watching that at the time. He go way back with this boxing shit like me. Sergio Martinez was the world champion fighting Miguel Cotto. Miguel Cotto was coming into his fourth fucking weight class to fight for that WBC middleweight title. And Sergio Martinez was so upset that Miguel Cotto had everything in his favor in negotiations, and he was getting like the lesser of it. He's like, damn, like, but I'm the world champion. Why I can't? Why I can't? Bro, Sergio Martinez, you done great. You done did some great shit. We remember the Paul Williams situation. We remember the moments that man, Sergio Martinez was a bad motherfucker. But just because you did them things does not mean that you're gonna get the lion's share, that you're gonna get the bigger splits and all. Not with Miguel Cotto. Miguel Cotto was to this day the last superstar that Puerto Rico has had, and they rocked with Miguel Cotto like a motherfucker, and he sold tickets out the ass. Puerto Rico loved Cotto. I think that these fighters, they don't really be understanding the business all like that. So they automatically assume because they're decorated that correlates to them being the A side. That's not always what it is. Yeah, Vergil, you beat some good motherfuckers, bro. You beat some good motherfuckers, former world champions, top contenders. Yeah, you did all that. I respect all of that. But to have this mentality that you think you deserve a majority of what's being brought to the table because you did that just goes to show you don't really understand the business. But anyways, what's a fair split in your opinion if it happens next? I'm gonna refrain from speaking about that because, like I said, I feel like that's when boxing fans get a little bit too newsy. Like that's, to be real, that's not our business. Our business is to call for the fights and watch the fucking fights and support the fights. That's our business. Like, that's for them to decide. It seemed like Boots easy to work with. That's the crazy part. That nigga Eddie Hearn said Boots was like, yo, give him the majority of the split. I'm gonna beat this nigga, and when I beat him, we're gonna be the ones that have a favorable split. Seemed like he easy to work with. He went straight down the middle with Xander. It don't seem like Boots, like, obviously Boots ain't fighting for free. Like, he ain't no motherfucking, sucker, but money ain't just the main concern with Boots. You could tell, like, he on a mission. And that mission ain't, the money ain't the biggest reason behind that mission. You could tell. You could tell. You know what I mean? But I actually want to read Rick Meridian's post. I keep getting caught up in the comments. We having great conversation, by the way, man. Y'all go ahead and hit the like button. Let's go ahead and hit the like button. Appreciate y'all as always. So this is Rick Meridian's response to Eddie Hearn. And let me see the clip. Maybe it's the same clip I already played for y'all. Let's hear it.
Is a little bit skewed because of his love for his fighters. Comes back and says, well, we've done the deal. It's like, no. We did a deal when we weren't even champion, when we were half the fighter we were in terms of profile and star value. Now we're unified world champion and you're a voluntary defense. Now, I'm not going to come out and say you should get 20% as a voluntary challenger, but do not think the deal's the same. We've got multiple options for Jaron Ennis. We've got Josh Kelly. We've got Sebastian Fondora. We love the Vergil Ortiz fight. And I stand by all my comments previously. It is one of the very best fights in the sport. Boots will take it like that. But I have to go and present an offer to Jaron Ennis. And I can do that by having a chat and seeing the numbers. But if you're like, it's always make the fight, Eddie. It's like, make the offer. Rick Meridian, who I love, but, you know, is...
Okay. So that he posted like an edited clip of Eddie Hearn's interview. Still agree with Eddie Hearn 1,000%. But this is Rick Meridian's response. He says the following. Shout out the bullies. What's going on? He says, I love you too, Eddie Hearn. I'm not skewed because I care too much about my guys. But facts are facts. You're the leader in global boxing and events and a polarizing figure in this sport. You surely can't rest at night having yet another voluntary fight for your killer. I mean, he has 37 fights now. One boxing fan knows who he beat or Xander to get those play belts. Not one. See, this is how you know that this nigga's hating. How could anybody agree with that statement right there? Not one boxing fan knows who he beat or Xander to get those play belts. Bro, 16,000 fans know who the fuck Xander beat at the Barclays June 27th. Like, what are you talking about? How you sell out the Barclays? You sell out the Barclays. It's the most, you know, the fight went fucking viral. It's all over different platforms. You know what I'm saying? They talking about they got the round of the year. You know, one of the fight of the year contenders, but nobody knows who Boots beat to get them belts. Like, how the fuck they even make sense? But anyways, let's keep it going. You're talking like this is AJ or Bam, and those belts came from other world-class guys and are legacy belts. The one you're wearing now is worth more. They are from the guys at Geno's Cheese Sticks after the late night shift. Yeah, he's corny as shit. Yeah, this nigga's super corny. That was like a little dig at Philly. That's super corny. Whenever a nigga bring up Geno, that's how you know they really not tapped in with Philly. Like, that's weirdo tourist shit. But anyways, he said he is a good fighter, no question. He is not a great fighter until he beats one. Let him spread his wings and fly, Sir Edward, and give the boxing fans what you're known for more than anything. The biggest fights on the planet. All 37 guys are all voluntary picked opponents. So, according to Rick Meridian, a unified world champion is a picked opponent. As if fucking Boots controlled that this nigga had 2 major world titles at 154 pounds. Let me see. As there is not one opponent at 37 that you would qualify as a B level or higher, let alone world class. Let me ask y'all something. What level fighter do you think Xander Zayas is, y'all? What do y'all classify Xander Zayas as being? Because according to Rick Meridian, Xander's not a B-level fighter or higher. So based off of that, I guess you could say Rick Meridian looks at Xander to be a C-level fighter or less. My whole thing is, if the nigga's a C-level fighter or less, then why didn't you fight him and take his title from him when y'all had the opportunity to? You see what I'm saying? I tell you what, Rick, Xander Zayas at this point in time is a better opponent than Erickson Lubin. At least I think so. You can't be flexing, oh, Boots ain't beat nobody, but his last opponent is better than your last opponent. So what does that say about you? Who was let's Boots ain't been in the division as long as Vergil. Vergil's been there some years at this point. But who was Vergil Ortiz's first 2 fights at 147? I mean, at 154. Just want to know. You know what I'm saying? It was Frederick Lawson and Thomas Delorme. Thomas Delorme, bro. A nigga that I seen giving Bud a fight at 140 pounds. You brought him up to 154 2 years ago and stepped on him. Frederick Lawson, come on, bro. No disrespect to Frederick Lawson, bro. But that nigga was a welterweight himself. So it's like, and the nigga been knocked out in every fight he lost. Frederick Lawson has literally, I forgot how many losses he got. He probably got like 8 losses, 6, like something around there. He's literally been knocked out every loss he's had. That was your first 2 fights at 154, and y'all was parading all up and down. Oh, Boo's gonna take 2 tune-ups. Boo's gonna take 2 tune-ups. And no, bitch, he unified in 2 fights. Fuck is you talking about? So let me see. Where do y'all rate? Where do y'all rate Xander? Y'all said, let me see. The people saying B plus can be A plus. I wouldn't classify Xander as an A plus fighter, but a B plus is not a bad. That's not bad at all. Bully says B. Jay says A to B. Ralph says B plus. Better than Madrimov. Madrimov at his peak was very dangerous. I think that when Vergil got around to him, he definitely lost. He lost. He definitely missed a step. Like he lost a step or two. Just my opinion. That didn't look like the Madrimov that fought Bud and the one who, won the WBA title. It just Madrimov didn't look like he had the same thing. And according to Madrimov, he had severe cases of pneumonia. He was like on a 12-month treatment. He had some shit going on. But regardless, Vergil beat him, so I gave him credit for it. He ain't had to step into the ring. Zah said better than Bohachuk. I think Xander is better than Bohachuk, to be honest with you. Bohachuk is C-level fighter, and he arguably beat Vergil. Yeah, he got beat the fuck up by Bohachuk got beat the fuck up by Brandon Adams. Then this nigga just get stopped by Shane Mosley Jr.? Not the senior, junior. Xander's a B-level fighter? Okay. Well, according to Rick Meridian, Xander's not a B-level fighter. He's below that. But anyways, let's go. Let's go back to this part right here. All 37 guys are all voluntary picked opponents, as there is not one opponent in the 37 that you will qualify as a B-level or higher, let alone world class. What's so funny was y'all niggas was supposed to fight Stanionis multiple times. Y'all was so hell-bent on getting that fight. That was somebody y'all was looking to fight but kept pulling out due to health issues. But then Boots beats him, and you don't classify him as being a B-level fighter neither. What does that say about Shaw opponent selection? Because y'all was looking to fight Stanionis. But anyways, no one said the deal has to be the same or will be, so not sure why you said that, or like I'm some clueless bloke. You and Oscar could fight over the 5 to 10%. This is a super fight the sport needs, and the network and the loyal subscribers paying $600 a year. I'm in no place to manage your guy, but the smart move for you is to make the money fight and get it done in their prime, undefeated, and it's the biggest fight in the sport to make, and your guy loses, then just have him fight Kelly and all is well. In the castle, managing 101. I have a Sugar Ray Leonard signed rookie card for your desk next time I see you, regardless. I get it. After that third round, you know what we all know, and the last thing you want is Vergil winning by KO in 8 or less, and Oscar right there to make sure the world knows. And Eddie, he is still half the fighter in every category you said. Nothing changed. I don't know what that part means. And Eddie, he is still half the fighter in every category you said. I don't know what Rick Meridian is talking about, but that was his response to Jaron Ennis. It's just so funny, man. Like, all of a sudden, these motherfuckers got a burst of energy. They just so optimistic about fighting Boots now, just based off of that third round. But what's so funny to me, it's like that could easily be countered just looking at the Serhii Bohachuk fight, man. You got dropped in 2 separate rounds. You got dropped early in the fight. You got dropped late in the fight. We don't hear Boots and them coming out here talking about, oh man, you see what happened in them 2 rounds with Sergey Boachuk, man. So you already know we gonna pack you up. We ain't talking about how the way fucking Vergil Ortiz was staggering in that motherfucking ring when Mean Machine got on his ass. You feel what I'm saying? It had him buckling in the ring and shit like that. Like, y'all motherfuckers love throwing rocks from glass houses, bro. Like, y'all love doing that. Y'all love talking shit and acting like motherfuckers got chinks in their armor when you done been exposed in much more devastating fashion. Niggas is talking about a shot that Boots got hit with that looked like it buckled him a little bit, looked like it buzzed him a little bit, and then he got back into the mix. Meanwhile, these niggas is getting dropped. These niggas is catching noodle legs and all types of shit, getting dropped multiple times throughout their career. And they like, oh yeah, man, we seen that. We seen you get hurt. Nigga, we seen you get dropped. Fuck is you talking about? You give me an option as a fighter, whether I get buckled or I get dropped. Now, I deal with getting buckled all day before I hit that canvas. Category he was meaning the terms of the fight. See? That's why I can't back his play, bro. This Rick Meridian dude is really weird, man. Really, really weird. And I could appreciate the fact that as a manager, he goes to war with these promoters to make sure his fighters are getting the best, deal possible. That's what he's supposed to do at the end of the day. That's literally what he's hired to do. But, to discredit Jaron Ennis like that, bro, it's disgusting. I ain't gonna lie to you, because we don't really hear Eddie Hearn downplaying Vergil's resume, and we don't really hear him talking down on Vergil like he didn't beat anybody, and you downplaying the amount of fights that the nigga got. It's like, all right, well, Vergil got 24 fights. You know what I'm saying? He got 22 knockouts. But still, with them 37 fights that Boots got, the nigga's a 2-time unified champion in 2 different weight classes. Y'all have 24 fights with 22 knockouts, and y'all have yet to get a major world title around y'all waist. So it's like, you talking shit about the amount of fights that the dude got. Yeah, Boots, he was very active early on in his career. Yes, that's exactly what you're supposed to do when you're coming up. When you're coming up as a prospect. Yeah, you want to stay as active as possible, get your tools sharp, you know what I mean, and keep progressing in your career. You know what I'm saying? I'm reading the comments, y'all. But it's like, all right, he got 37 fights, but in those 37 fights that you are trying to, and that's the thing, is like, you're talking shit about a guy who got 37 fights. So like, what's the significance of the 37 fights? All right, in those 37 fights, he unified in both divisions he campaigned in. Y'all niggas been in 3 different divisions and have yet to grab a major world title in either of them. Remember, Vergil turned pro at 140 pounds. Did y'all forget that? He turned pro about like around the time I graduated. So like 2016, maybe 27. I remember maybe Vergil turned pro before that. I don't know. But the nigga been pro for about a decade. You was at 140. You was at 147. You was at 154. You done ran through 3 different divisions, brother, and you have yet to get a world title. Oh, Boots ain't beating. He hasn't even beat a B-level fighter. What was that Geno's cheesesteak shit? He said, you're talking like this is AJ or Bam, and those belts came from other world-class guys and are legacy belts. The one you're wearing now is worth more. So he's basically saying that the belt that Eddie Hearn has around his waist currently is more valuable than the belts that Jaron Ennis has at 154. So that it just sounds like, to Rick Meridian, belts don't really mean shit to him. So you're downplaying 2 out of the 4 major world titles in boxing today. So the WBO and the WBA don't mean shit to Rick Meridian. That the belt that Eddie Hearn got on is worth more than Jaron Ennis's belts. Okay. Then he said, they are from the guys at Geno's Cheesesteak after the late night shift. Super corny, bro. Like these niggas be yapping and they just be sounding like squares, bro. I swear to God. He turned pro around 2016. Yeah, so that I stand by my point then. That was about a decade ago. You'd have been through 3 different weight classes, and you have yet to stamp your name in the division. You beat some good names, yes, but what did that get you? An empty fucking an empty trophy case. We counting international titles now. That's what we doing. We counting interim titles. Vergil probably the reason why Mauricio is going around saying, "Oh, all of my fighters are happy to be interim champions." Remember Mauricio said that shit to Chris Mannix? All my fighters are happy to be interim champions. Like, nigga, no, they not. They don't want that funky ass belt. They want to be legit world champions. No, my fighters, the fighters, they happy to be interim champions. That nigga Vergil like, yep, I love this belt. I love this belt. This nigga Z said he gonna be a box rec legend. That's fucking hilarious. A box rec legend is fucking hilarious. That's funny. But yeah, that's the back and forth between Jaron Ennis and Vergil Ortiz, man. I really don't got any more. I don't really got much more to add to that conversation. To be real, do I still care for the Vergil Ortiz and Jaron Ennis fight? Yeah, I would love to see that fight. And I hope that that's somewhere near me so I can come out and watch the fight. I doubt it. That's probably a Vegas fight, to be real, or a Cali fight. But I would love to watch that fight with my own eyes. And maybe I will, only God knows, right? But we're not gonna sit here and act like Boots don't got other options. And just as intriguing fights. Now, a lot of shit done changed since that Xander Zayas fight, because now with Boots having 2 of the major belts and him saying that he wants to collect all of the belts at 54, you got other champions in the mix in Josh Kelly and Sebastian Fundora who have not only expressed interest in facing Jaron Ennis, but has even given him time frames. Like they saying that Josh Kelly and Boots could fight at the end of this year because Josh Kelly's fighting literally next week in Saudi Arabia, in Jeddah, if I said it right. In Saudi Arabia, right? July 25th. Hopefully he comes out unscathed. And, they said they already agreed to terms so they could fight later this year. Sebastian Fundora said that he'll be available after his fight with Ermal in early 2027. He got options. So when your main objective is to get all of the belts in the division, and Josh Kelly is with the same promotional company as you and has already agreed the terms to fight you when he signed his deal with Matchroom Boxing. And then you also got Sebastian Fundora out here, who recently just got with the zone, PBC just got with the zone. And he's saying that he would like to fight Boots too, because he sees flaws in Boots. He sees things that he could take advantage of, blah, blah, blah. That's 2 fights right there that Boots could get. Very winnable fights, in my opinion. And if he comes into this fight with Vergil Ortiz with all 4 belts, that motherfucker Vergil might have to settle for the bare minimum. I ain't gonna lie to you. That motherfucker will have to take whatever he could get. Even at that point, why Vergil's still a great fight. Let's not get it wrong. But Boots is probably like, fuck, like I'm at the top of the division. I got all 4 belts. What's the point in even fighting Vergil? He could easily take that approach. That nigga ain't no world champion. He could flex on him. Just like how Vergil and them try to flex on him when he came into the division. So yeah, Eddie Hearn was right, man. Today's price, yesterday's price ain't today's price. That's the perfect way to put it. But according to Rick Meridian, he didn't claim that yesterday's price was today's price. But he also went on to say that Boots got 37 fights, ain't beat nobody. That's a top fighter. I just want to know who the fuck Vergil beat that's like this top fighter. You would have thought this nigga Vergil beat Bud or something. Yeah, like you beat Madrimov, but you beat Madrimov coming off of a loss. Yeah, you beat Serhii Boachuk. There's a lot of people who thought you lost to Serhii Boachuk. You fought Frederick Lawson. You fought fucking Thomas Delorme at 154. Both of those guys are not elite level guys. Who the fuck did Vergil Ortiz beat that was like this great fucking fighter? My boy Z in the building say, yo, Mark, do you feel like there's some promised land energy?
You got to come down to the promised land, man. 235 acres. We farming our own chickens, homie. Thousands of chickens, thousands. Running around everywhere, quack, quack, quack. Talk about next level shit, homie.
That was fucking hilarious. Do I feel like there's some promised land energy from Vergil when it comes to Fundora? Bro, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I haven't heard many times where Vergil really spoke on Fundora's name. Not saying that he hasn't, but I don't really hear many interviews where Vergil's like really expressing fighting Fundora. Like, I really don't hear that. I don't really hear Fundora speaking about Vergil. So it's like you got the WBC interim champion. I'm telling you, this shit makes all of the sense in the world to have them fight. You know what I'm saying? While Boots goes ahead and he fights Josh Kelly. Because think about it this way. Josh Kelly, Matchroom. Boots, Matchroom. Both with the zone. Agreed to terms. They could fight ASAP. Vergil with the zone and Golden Boy. Sebastian Fundora, PBC in the zone. WBC interim champion. WBC full status champion. WBC mandate them to fight each other, not fucking Ermal, who's a WBC silver champion. Have the interim fight the fucking champion. Then they could go ahead and fight each other, and then we get to see who the fucking champion is in the WBC. The winner of Sebastian Fundora and Vergil Ortiz goes up against the winner of Jaron Ennis versus Josh Kelly. Then they see each other at the end for undisputed. That fight is going to have a lot more money. It's going to be a lot more on the line. It's going to have boxing fans even more excited. What the, like, how don't they see this? They just want Boots to fight everybody. God damn, like, do some fucking work over here while I do some work over here, and then we see each other in the middle. The fuck? So I'm on this side, you know, not to bring up like the Terrence Crawford and Earl Spence shit, but I'm on one side of the fucking street. You on this side of the street. I got one motherfucker over here I can rumble. You got one motherfucker over there you can rumble. And if we both come out successful, we can meet right up in the middle of the block and get the fuck down. What is the problem with that? It seemed pretty simple to me, man, but this boxing shit is rarely ever simple in reality. So, you know, it is what it is. I just feel like the WBC ain't really in a rush to make that shit happen. And I'm going to tell y'all why. The WBC not really in a rush to make that fight happen because guess what? Both of them niggas are getting to some good motherfucking money. They paying the WBC some nice little checks every time they fight. So why the fuck would they have them fight each other when they could just keep them away from each other and build both of them? That's what it comes down to, man. The WBC, they greedy, man. That's why James Toney was running around there. WBC stand for We Beat Crooks. Shit been like that for decades already. Why the fuck? In Mauricio's head, you got to understand, just like it's a business for the fighters and it's a business for the promoters, it's also a business for these sanctioning bodies. Why the hell would I enforce or force Sebastian Fundora to fight Vergil Ortiz when they're both seven-figure fighters and we're getting percentages off of both of their fucking purses every time they fight? Why would I have them fight each other? One of them gets knocked off and then I'm just left for one sanctioning fee to get off of these motherfuckers. Because once a nigga lose the belt, you know what I mean? After that fight, you know, them motherfuckers ain't gonna be on the WBC's the WBC ain't gonna be on that payroll no more. So it's like, this is a seven-figure dude, this is a seven-figure dude. I'm getting, I don't know what percent. I'm getting 3% off of this dude. I'm getting 3% off of this dude. Do I really want to get one of these guys knocked off and I'm just settling for the 3%? Or do I keep these motherfuckers away from each other, keep having them defend these fucking titles we're giving them, and I walk away with 6% of 2 7-figure paydays? Come on, man. I see what they doing. Them niggas ain't slick how they claim to be. Yeah, we not even talking about a WBC silver belt that Ermal got. That nigga getting paid off of that belt too. Shit. I'm motherfucking man Mauricio over there eating good. He's like, oh man, but we got the Suleiman Foundation where we're helping retired fighters. I'm motherfucking staying sweets. And, the money doesn't go to us. So y'all got a council filled with all these motherfuckers. Ain't none of these niggas getting paid well. That's basically what you're saying. He was trying to make it seem like all the bread that they get goes to the Suleiman Fund, where they taking care of retired fighters. And I heard they gave some retired niggas some bread, but they definitely ain't telling us the full truth. You feel me? But we got any last questions before we get up out of here, y'all? I'm ready to lay down with the wifey and my son. They both knocked out right now, so I want to go lay down with my family. You know what I'm saying? And I got to get up early. I don't got my son this weekend. Those always tough weekends for me when I don't have my son. But, I'm going to try to keep myself busy so when Tuesday come back around, I can go get my son again. WBC becoming unserious. They became unserious a long time ago, brother. I'm going to keep it real. That Chris Mannix interview, that was a nail in the coffin for me. I already knew they was full of shit, but after that interview, I was like, oh, man, this motherfucker Mauricio. He ain't shit. He really ain't shit. He get all defensive too. He like this motherfucker, like the entitlement of this fucking fat bastard to think that motherfuckers gotta take care of him. They be acting like they make the fighter. No, the fighters make y'all, nigga. With our world title, you was able to make money off of us. All right, and because I'm holding your world title and I became who I became through my fucking hard work and dedication, y'all was able to make a name off of me too. Sound like a fucking 50-50 exchange to me. Not even. The fighter's doing the majority of the shit. Man, the fighter make the belt. It ain't the other way around. Because all it takes is for all these fighters to come together and be like, fuck the belts, and y'all niggas ain't worth shit no more. For real. The only thing that keep y'all afloat is y'all history, because Muhammad Ali held y'all belts. You know what I mean? Iconic figures like that. If it wasn't for y'all history, y'all niggas would not be in business right now. And that just goes back to my main point. The fighters done made y'all who the fuck y'all is. It ain't the other way around. Did anybody see the Tito Mercado fight announcement? Yeah, I see he fighting Tago, Manuel Tago. For those of y'all who find that name to be familiar, I believe that's who Ryan Garcia fought prior to the Devin Haney fight. I know they fought for sure, but I don't know if that was before. I don't know if that was directly before the Devin Haney fight. No, it actually was before the Tank fight. I'm sorry. He fought Tago, then he fought Javier Fortuna, then he fought Tank. Sorry about that. But I seen Tito Mercado's fighting him. Look, man, I seen that, Tito Mercado had, I guess, did like a one-fight deal with a local promoter in his area. But now he just recently signed with Win Records and Dimitri Salita, which is basically the same deal that, fighters like a Tifo Burlton got going on right now. I think Troy Isley signed with them as well. And now they got Tito Mercado. So they building up a nice little promotional stable over there. And they giving them a big platform by, fighting on Clarissa Shields' undercards. She seems to be selling real well too. And I've seen that Tito Mercado is going to be the co-main event. So that's a good fight for him. I mean, it's not the best opponent or whatever the case is, but to be fair, Tito Mercado's still climbing up them, them rankings. He's looking to get a huge, a big opportunity. And that's just what it is, man. So yeah, that's a good stay busy fight for Tito. I actually text Tito to congratulate him for it. I actually would like to set up an interview with him soon. so we could talk more about it. But I'll see what his schedule is like. No problem. I definitely want to hear what Tito Mercado got to say. Because a lot of shit done happened in or around his division since then. But anyways, man, I'm going to get up out of here. I appreciate everybody that came through and show love as always. If y'all can go ahead and hit the like button on the way out, that'd be very much appreciated. I'll be back at y'all with another live, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow to continue cooking up on what's going on in the boxing world. Until then, hope you guys have a blessed, beautiful. I'm up out of here, man. Peace.